Is the Middle East heading for a regional war? One certainly might think so, with the currently raging tensions between Israel and Palestine, and several cross-border skirmishes with Lebanon's Hezbollah that are threatening to spill over onto other fronts and potentially ignite a wider regional war. Regional watchers are looking to see if the conflict will escalate vertically, that is, with greater severity, scope, and firepower from Israel's end, like the current ground invasion occurring, or horizontally in what Haaretz calls a geographical expansion of the conflict, which may include Lebanon's Hezbollah, Iran, and Syria. You may be wondering whether an Israel-Iran war is really likely. Well, Iran and Israel haven't really been buddies since the inception of the Islamic Republic in 1979. Their mutual dislike of each other kicked up a notch after the election of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad in the early 2000s. The two have been engaged in various proxy wars, most recently in Syria, where Iran backs the Assad regime and where Israel regularly carries out strikes. Israel has tried to derail Iran's burgeoning nuclear weapons system by assassinating scientists, while Iran has backed and funded regional proxies, including armed resistance groups in Palestine's Gaza, notably the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group and, to a lesser degree, Hamas. Israel's relentless onslaught on Palestine's Gaza has recently reignited anger on the Iranian side, with Iran's foreign minister warning that the Axis of Resistance may carry out preemptive measures against Israel. The Axis of Resistance is an informal political and military alliance that reportedly includes Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah, as well as other anti-US or anti-Israel militia groups in the region. Iran has said it would not watch from the sidelines if the US failed to restrain Israel. Despite its history, the Islamic Republic has denied any involvement in recent events, an assertion backed by Hamas, which said that not even the upper echelons of their leadership knew about the October 7th attack. Regardless of whether or not Tehran was involved, that hasn't stopped Israel from attacking another Iranian proxy. Ambivalent about joining the recent fray is Hezbollah, a Lebanese Shia group backed by Iran. Hezbollah, which has a massive arsenal of long-range rockets, has traded fire with Israel along the border several times since the tensions spiked earlier this month. The last time Hezbollah and Israel battled was in 2006, when they fought a war that led to the deaths of 1,200 people in Lebanon, mostly civilians, and 160 Israelis. Hezbollah has trained paramilitary groups in Syria and Iraq and inspired other forces such as Yemen's Iran-allied Houthis. They have hinted at joining the war if Israel seeks to annihilate Hamas. If they do wade into the conflict, that would open up another front in the fighting, along Israel's border with southern Lebanon. So, if there's a regional war, will the US get drawn into it? Well, it wouldn't be out of character given the US's record of endless wars in the Middle East. Consider the disastrous 2003 US invasion of Iraq, predicated on American lies about weapons of mass destruction, or America's 2001 invasion of Afghanistan, which ended calamitously, or the 1990 Gulf War, or the US involvement in Libya and Syria. Let's not forget the plethora of US military bases in the region that underscore America's dominance. These bases and the troops deployed there have long served as the main tool for American foreign policy. Since the Israel-Palestine conflict flared up in October 2023, Washington has stated numerous times that it stands with Tel Aviv. It has minimized Palestinian casualty figures while saying it condemns loss of all civilian life. The US has dispatched 2 aircraft carrier strike groups to the eastern Mediterranean, and nearly 80 American cargo planes have landed in the region in the past 2 weeks. Biden's reasoning for this is that no enemies of Israel can or should seek advantage from the current situation. US Defense Minister Lloyd Austin has set out ready to deploy orders if Israel should require American troops. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was in the region for over a week, and his commander-in-chief, Biden, joined him in Israel, the first visit by a US president to a freshly active war zone. But some analysts warn against interpreting the US's support for Israel as a carte blanche, saying that US policy on the current situation wholly depends on whether it will serve US interests, strategically or otherwise. During Blinken's visit to Egypt, he stated American goals involve preventing the spread of war in the region and addressing Gaza's present humanitarian crisis. A regional or horizontal escalation will depend on whether the war escalates vertically and how it escalates if it does. Israel had been preparing for a ground invasion of Gaza, and after postponing it numerous times due to US pressure, it has finally gone in. This marks a significant escalation in the war, one that could spur Hezbollah to step up attacks in northern Israel to nip at Israeli resources in Gaza. It's already stimulated Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels to join in, firing drones and missiles at Israel. Iran has already warned of multiple fronts opening up if the conflict escalates and has said it will take preemptive measures if the ground incursion into Gaza begins. Yet for Palestinians in Gaza, Israel's unrelenting bombardment is already an escalation of the conflict. Whether the conflict escalates regionally or not, civilians are paying the price.